Alright, we're back working on the GMC Canyon here. The catalytic converter was giving me some issues, throwing a code. I replaced it with an aftermarket cat and it still had the codes pretty much right away. So I'm going to replace it with another OEM cat, brand new, which is quite expensive by the way, to see if that's the route I should have taken all along. So I did read some comments and on some forums that the aftermarket cats just don't function good enough to clear the code. So we'll go ahead and change the cat on this, and I kind of walk you through what we need to do to get it out. And it's fairly simple on the 2.5, so we do have room to actually work on it. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. All right, first things first, we have a heat shield here that we got to take off. And there's three 10 millimeter bolts, and there's one on the bottom. I did break the one on the bottom, and it's stuck in the manifold. I haven't replaced it, and it doesn't seem to rattle or anything at the moment, but if I ever take off the manifold, I'll go ahead and extract the rest of the bolt that's inside there. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and take this off, and then that'll expose the top of our cat and our exhaust manifold. Alright, there's the heat shield we gotta take off. Let's see if then there's actually a plug down here for your upper O2 stream, for your O2 sensor. I'm going to unplug it, and when I take the cat off, I'll just take it off with the cat outside of the truck. So I just need to unplug this plug here, and then we'll go ahead and start unbolting from the top, and then we'll go underneath. So I'm just going to show you here on my my new cat. When you're taking the catalytic converter off, separating from the manifold, there's some nuts that separate it, but then you got the studs still in here, and these will actually come out, and you'll have to take them out to slide it out underneath from the manifold. The new one, aftermarket, that's on there now is just bolted straight through, so the disassembly is going to be a little bit different if you have an original cat. But yeah, just these come right out of your old ones and your new ones, and that'll make it so you don't have to take apart your manifold. So we got the bolts off, if you can see, off the top flange of the cat, and if you look towards the back here, there is a 13 mil bolt that bolts to the catalytic converter. That's the top mount. So we'll go ahead and take that off while we're up here, and then we'll head on underneath after that. All right, there she is. So we'll head underneath now. All right, welcome to the dark side. We are underneath the truck now. And this is the transmission, the engine's up front, and here's the bottom of the catalytic converter mount. There's 3 bolts. I'm going to go ahead and take off the O2 sensor just because it's easy to do, and it gets it out of the way to have a straight shot at the bolt. If you notice, I do have one of those cheater plug things there to help not trip the code. Even that wouldn't help with this aftermarket cat. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and take this O2 sensor off, take the flange bolts off, and we also have a couple bolts here that will help us drop this exhaust to give us some room to get the cat out from underneath. And the last mount is this bottom mount, which I saved for last. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. This is a 7/8 wrench that you need to take this off, and then yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. All right, we'll take these two bolts off here to loosen up the exhaust. Okay, that's loose. There's our gasket. Now we have a bolt here that we got to take off, and that should be it. Then the cat should fall down. Okay, there she goes. All right, and we're out. All right, we got both cats here. This is the one I just took out, which was made by MagnaFlow, I think, or something like that. It's supposed to be an OEM replacement, and this is our GM OEM one, and you can see that there's quite a bit difference in size, which obviously plays a part in you know, how much catalyst is in there to filter the exhaust coming out. So yeah, we do have to transfer this one bracket to the new one, and that should be about it. And like I mentioned before, we'll have to take these out, these studs here, before we try to install it. Otherwise it won't fit between the manifold and the clearance we have on the upper control arm. All right, we're gonna slide this back up. All right. For now, we'll get these exhaust bolts back in to kind of help us hold it in place. We'll get the first hanger mounted. I like to do everything just a little bit loose in the beginning, just to make sure everything's going to line up nice. And then I'll go back through and tighten everything up. All right, we got the gasket that goes on top of the catalytic converter and in between the manifold. We'll slide that on before we start bolting it up. Okay, and we'll put our studs back in. Okay, we got everything buttoned up on top and we have it tightened. So you're going to want to make sure that your upper support bolt is tight. You got 3 bolts, one in the middle here, one on the side and here, that need to be tightened up for the manifold to catalytic converter, and then you have your plug for your O2 sensor. I'm going to leave the shield off for now because I want to start it before I cover it up, but we'll go underneath and tighten all that up, and then we should be good to go. Okay, we're back underneath. We'll start by clamping down this connection here. Then we have the lower bracket that bolts to the transmission, that's tight. Then the one that's bolted to the catalytic converter needs to be tightened as well. As you remember, I left it loose so I can kind of line everything up perfectly. Okay, then we got the bolts for the exhaust hanger that we got to tighten back up. We got our O2 sensor. These are new O2 sensors, by the way, when I put the new cat in. All right, plug our O2 sensor in. Okay. All right, so when you're down here, you tightened your exhaust bolts, you tightened your catalytic converter to the exhaust clamp, you tighten the upper bracket, both bolts, O2 sensors in, it's clipped in, and that should be it down here. We'll go ahead and do a startup and make sure that there's no leaks, and we should be good to go at that point. All right, everything looks good. So I'll put the shield back on and we'll be done.